The man who almost conquered a country, escaped Impel Down, Luffy's mom, Sir Crocodile. Crocodile is a 5-life mono-colored leader that reads, all your opponent's characters can't be removed from the field by your effects. That means no KO, no bouncing to hand, and no trashing. Croc's activate main is, once per turn, KO one of your own Baroque Works type characters and give one of your opponent's characters minus 10 cost for the turn. Then you can mill top 2 cards of your deck. This effect helps us proc our character effects as most of them need a 0 cost character on board for their effects. The 4 1 cost characters we run all have a use. Miss Valentine is our searcher that looks at top 4 cards of our deck and grabs a Baroque Works type card and trashes the rest. Miss Wednesday is a 2k that has an activate main being, trash this character and give one 0 cost character minus 3k power. This effect lets you combo with cards to be able to clear a body from the board. Miss Merry Christmas is a 2k whose on KO effect is, draw 1, then KO an opponent's 1 cost stage. This is great for targets like Dressrosa Kingdom, Rev Army HQ, Coffin Boat, and others you may run into. I also like to play her when in the purple and null matchup, as she can contest their 1 cost bodies and draws me a card if they choose to swing into her. Miss Golden Week is the last 2k I run, as its only use is hand filter if I need to fill the trash or my hand is unplayable. Bon Clay is the heart and soul of the deck, being a 4 cost 5k power that has an on KO letting you play one 5 cost or less Baroque Works type character from the hand or trash. Almost all the time, you're going to be wanting to play a character from the trash so you're not going down in hand size. Babe is our other 4 cost option, who's a blocker that on KO lets you grab any 8 cost or less Baroque Works type character from trash to hand, usually being either a 2k or a top end. The 5 cost options we can play off Bon Clay are Das Bones, Gem, and Doublefinger. Das Bones effect is on play, rest an opponent's 0 cost character. He also has an effect that says if there's a character with a cost of 0 or 8 or more, he can attack characters on the turn he's summoned. This is the main card comboed with Miss Wednesday like seen before to clear the board. The on play can also be used to rest a blocker, so when going for lethal, you don't have to worry about it. Gem is a blocker that reads, on play if there's a character with a cost of 0 or 8 or more, draw 2 and trash 1. When Das Bones and Gem are looking for a card with 0 or 8 or more, it doesn't specify if it's looking to see if your opponent has one, so even if they don't but you control something like an 8 cost Croc, you still get to draw 2. Our last 5 cost, Miss Doublefinger, has a passive effect of, if you have 7 or more cards in trash, she gains 1k power and all your Baroque Works type character gains plus 2 cost. Other than being a beat stick, Doublefinger lets you get around cards like Jozu, Gravity Blade, and Luna. Most decks in the format deal with power now, so that's why I have her as one of. The top end that I run are Miss All Sunday, Crocodile, and the new 7 cost Nightmare Luffy. I'm just gonna call her Robin, but she reads, on play a 4 cost or less, and a 1 cost or less with the types Baroque Works from your trash, essentially being an Archetypal Moria. This can be used in 3 ways. First is summoning Bon Clay and Wednesday to play into a Das Bones to clear a body. Second is summoning a Bon Clay and a Valentine to play into a Gem, letting you filter hand and search. Third is summoning Babe and Valentine to grab any character when blocking and search. This one is mostly done if you have an 8 cost Croc on board, so you don't have to use lead effect on the Bon Clay. Each route all depends on board state if you want to be aggressive, defensive, or stall out a turn if you're already ahead. 8 cost Croc is the best top end you can play, with its on play being up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 9 or less cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Then, if your opponent controls a character with a cost of 0 or 8 or more, draw a card. This is best played if the opponent already has an 8 cost or more, so you can get the draw when first played. He also has an on KO that reads, you may trash 1 card from hand. If you do, play him from trash. This is great when in tandem with our leader effect, as the same turn you can play him, you can KO him and get a double stun on opponent's characters. The new 7 cost Luffy is a standard tech option in the deck, as he has a static effect based on how many cards are in our trash, which goes great with our leader effect. At 10 cards, Luffy's base power becomes 9k and he gains plus 10 cost. At 20 cards, on opponent's turn, our leader's base power becomes 7k. And at 30 cards, Luffy gains plus 1k power. Keep in mind that these effects do stack, so if you have 30 or more cards in trash, you'll get all of them and so on. This is great in general, as it's a tall beat stick, and being a 7k leader is always good, even if it's only on the opponent's turn, especially in a matchup like Boa, where they go wide with characters. The 3 events that are ran in every Croc deck are Disappointed, Ground Death, and Patchwork. Disappointed is a searcher that looks at top 3 cards of the deck and grabs a Baroque Works type card and trashes the rest. It also has a trigger that activates its main effect, so that's always welcome. Ground Death is our counter event that gives plus 4k power to any character or leader as long as we have 10 or more cards in trash. And yes, if you have 9 cards in trash, then counter with this card, it does make it 10 and fulfills the 10 card requirement. It also has a main, being you can rest 2 more Dawn and negate the effects of an opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less. This stops blockers and on-KO effects from proccing. Keep in mind, if you go to negate something like a 6 cost blocker now, it does not lose its blocker as it's a gained effect that was already resolved. Its blocker is not its innate effect, so negating the null only gets rid of the plus 2k and protection effect. This ruling has been cleared up by Bandai when talking about other negation effects. Here's the proof. The last event, Patchwork, is 1 Dawn and gives an opponent's character minus 3 cost for the turn. Then you can choose any 0 cost character the opponent controls and freeze it. This is great for something like a 7 cost Sabo or a 10 cost Whitebeard, stopping a blocker from restanding. Mainly you want your starting hand to be a Searcher, Bon Clay, and preferably a top end for later plays. Because of 8 cost Croc and 4 cost Bon Clay in the deck, you want to go second when given the option. First isn't too bad though, as we do have 7 cost Robin to play and 7 cost Luffy. If you're ahead in the game and you have an option to either play a Croc or Robin, I will 90% of the time play down the Robin, as there's no need to jump the gun and play a Croc when the opponent only has, let's say, Jozo on the board. This also applies to our Luffy. It's better to save that Croc for an actual big body and get the draw off it. Other than that, it's just a simple game plan of controlling the board with your cards and setting up blockers, or clearing the board till you're chaining your Crocs. You can pause now for the full deck list, but it'll also be in the description. Now that we know how to play the deck, let's finally hop into some ranked games. Hey, in this video I'm going to be popping in to explain some of my plays. This play, realistically I should have trashed one of my All Sundays instead of my Patchwork, because I could use the Patchwork to freeze the Holy to stop it from swinging at me again. So at the beginning of this game, I forgot to press record, but all that happened was I picked second at the start of the game. On Nami's 1 Dawn, they did nothing. On my 2 Dawn, I played the Valentine. I forgot what I searched, but on their 3 Dawn, Nami played the little girl. On my 4 Dawn, I played the Bong Clay into a DOS Bones, tapping the little girl and then swinging my searcher into it to KO it. So for this play, I chose to play the gem from trash because out of the two, the gem is just more value than the babe, and I don't play the DOS Bounce from my hand because 1, I don't want to go down in hand size, and 2, I already feel with the Wednesday on the board, I could clear it with my 2 swings.
Yeah.
So here on my ACOS Croc, I was debating whether to stop the Yamato or the Whitebeard from attacking, mainly because it's always better to force the opponent to swing with a blocker so then they don't have it to block when I swing. But in this instance, I had arrested Robin, so I just didn't want a 12k swing into her because then I just wouldn't be able to defend that because she's only AK. And also if I let them swing with the Yamato, I could just swing into it and remove a body from their board so I don't have to deal with it later.
Holy schmoly! Before taxes!
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other video on if Creed can keep up. Decklist will be down in the description along with the music I used in the video, and a link to my Twitter. My next video will maybe be on Sky Island Robin. It looks like a lot of fun. If you could please like and subscribe, it greatly helps me in the video, and I hope you all have a good one.